Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Qubitro Partner Series. My name is İlayda Bahadıroğlu. I'm a business development and growth manager at Qubitro. We have very special guests today. Fabian Kochem, head of global product strategy of Once, and we have our founder Beray Bentesen as well. We're going to have a Q&A session, and after that, our tech wizard Samuel, we're going to do a demonstration. So if you're ready, I'm going to start with my first question.
All right.
Fabian, can you share a little bit about yourself, your background, and your current role at Once?
Absolutely, yes. So first of all, thank you for having me. Quite the honor. So I'm glad to explain who I am and what I do. So as you said, I'm currently taking care of the product strategy at Once, making sure that our products work globally, that we continue to exist in 5 to 10 years as well on the global stage. And my background actually is quite diverse. So I started out as an engineer, did programming of various languages for, I think, 10 years actually, administered servers before cloud really was a thing. But then changed sides at some point, did sales actually, did some business development myself, and then ended up in product. And here I am doing my thing.
So can you share a brief introduction about Once and the types of services and solutions you offer in the IoT space?
Yes, absolutely. So with Once, it's actually quite simple because our mission is rather straightforward. We want to make the consumption of cellular IoT as easy as software so that our customers can build better products and change the world while doing so. And it's really quite what our mission statement is. And we do that by providing both IoT software, but also cellular connectivity worldwide in 158 countries as of today. So what does that mean? Basically, we allow the devices of our customers to send the data from the devices into the cloud where something else will happen. And basically, Qubitro could pick it up and transform this data into something more magical. What is also important, I think, is how we do that, because for us, it's really, really important to cater to the needs of developers. Yeah. So for us, we have 3 aspects when we talk about that. One is self-service. Second one is ease of use. And the third one, people who know us will know, very attractive pricing. Yeah. So let me explain what I mean by that. Self-service for us means every developer can go to our website, purchase just a single SIM card and get full access to all of our platform. Yeah, the SIM card, once ordered, will come activated. There's nothing else that needs to be done. All of the features can be used right from the start. That transforms, or that actually is the introduction also for the second point in that, ease of use. Yeah, so we include all of our APIs. Everything is publicly available. All of the documentation you can find on our website, and we try to reduce the complexity as much as possible. And that is also the third point then, because our pricing is flat out simple. You pay $10 and get 10 years of service. It's a one-time payment. It's not a recurring cost. It's just that you pay the $10 once, hence the name, and can use it in your device for 10 years. And actually, many people ask, why are we able to do that? And actually, we are probably the only ones who can do it at this price point. The reason for that is our business structure, right? We have big operators in our company invested. That is Deutsche Telekom, that is T-Mobile US, and also SoftBank in Asia. So by that, we think at least that we are establishing a new standard. We have about 15,000 customers worldwide. We have 20 million subscriptions under management. And as I said, available in 158 countries as of today.
Wow, that answer is a basic and the most impressive one, I guess. So my next question will be for both Beray and Fabian. You know, there is a triple puzzle: hardware, connectivity, and platform. And what is the importance of the partnership for you in general?
Beray, do you want to go first? Or should I?
It's up to you. You are the guest.
Then you may start.
Okay, cool. So you made a good point when you are covering the, making things easier for developers or for any company, basically. I think I would start with that as well when we think of the partnership, because I think you also made a good point that what we are working on is not new relatively, because there was hardware, there was connectivity. But I think what is changing is the approach, because now there is a more demand, so-called smart applications, IoT applications, or basically building meaningful solutions with device data. So basically devices, physical devices, assets, and connectivity are the fundamentals of these solutions. And for solutions like us as Qubitro, we focus on the device data. It's only possible with device and connectivity itself. So when we think of this way, it's also so clear that these partnerships are, fundamental of the solutions apart from the technical aspect, because there might be tons of devices, connectivity options, or solutions like Qubitro, but we should collaborate better and better so that also we can offer not only easier solution in our end, from company perspective, but also we can offer entire experience much easier or in more cost efficient way. So that is why we believe in partnership so much since our launch day. We even had more partnership before we have a product, so it's that critical and it helped a lot. So that is what I think in a sense, in a simple way. But I also would like to hear what you think. It could be also more specific to the ones. This is my general opinion.
Yeah. So I would agree with everything you said. And for us, it's basically two things, I believe. So first of all, we wouldn't be here where we are without partners. Yeah. So it started very early on. I mentioned our investors, Deutsche Telekom, SoftBank, but also AWS is a very important partner for us, where we run all of our software in order to scale globally. Yeah. So this is probably the baseline, first of all, to provide our services. But in IoT specifically, I think there is a lot of confusion. At least this is what I feel when talking to customers, because there are so many vendors. They have so many overlapping offerings, and customers often ask themselves, so what do I actually buy here? What do I get? Will it work with the stuff that I already have? And how is it different from all of the other offerings that are out there? And this is probably a huge problem because it hinders adoption or the growth of connected products everywhere. So what we have adopted is basically the Unix philosophy, where you say, okay, do one thing, do it well, and now getting to your point, be compatible with others. Yeah? Work nicely, work very well with other offerings that are out there. And this mindset is so crucial in order to provide value to customers, and also how we approach our partnerships, including Qubitro.
Mm-hmm. Yes. As we mentioned, the partnerships, I think that Once and Qubitro has a great connection. And I am wondering, what do you think a partnership between Once and Qubitro is valuable for the end users?
Yeah, that I can definitely start with. Again, I think it's really simple, right? So we deliver the IoT data into Qubitro. Without that data, Qubitro would probably have a problem because there's no data to work with. So it's quite essential, right? So we deliver the IoT data, Qubitro processes it. It's really simple, but yet so powerful, I believe. Yeah, and this is basically what's so valuable for customers in that sense, because we definitely share the same mindset when it comes to developers. Both think that developers must come first. Yeah, we both are trying to push the entirety of building and maintaining connected products to try to make it easier, basically. And when we join forces and continue to do so, we are making sure that both platforms are integrated nicely, that they work well together. Therefore, our users can expect, I think, less friction, basically. They can build products quicker, therefore quicker time to market. And of course, new functionality that maybe didn't exist before and will continue or will exist in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I can also add on top of that. I think it's, on top of that, I think it's also important that for any company in this puzzle, either hardware, connectivity, or platform, let's say, it also creates an opportunity for these companies to share the stories better and educate market better and faster, because we are also challenging. Probably Fabian is agree with me that one of the biggest challenging is the education, education in the market, because I also agree that there are many vendors, and even the separation is so hard in IoT landscape, because everyone is either platform, either everyone is doing same naming but doing completely different things. But when we build a partnership like this, it's also an opportunity for companies to go to the customer with more straightforward messaging and a story maybe, and also a much faster way to offer different features that the other company doesn't involve. For example, we are not involving in connectivity space, but we cannot ignore connectivity space, because at the end it's how we receive data. So the more we also understand and deep dive into that part, we can also build our solutions better or improve our existing solutions better. So it's only possible directly talking to the partners and hearing what they think or what they are building. So this is not just typical marketing activities, but in reality, it's the requirement if any company want to go further or faster and do something serious in the market. So it's like unwritten rule. So we like this approach, and we learned a lot. That is why I believe we were able to go faster, because we had a chance to validate several ideas or acquire customers through partnership. So I would just add these on top of that.
Yeah, you're so right. So the next question is a general question. I'm wondering your opinion, like, how do you think that IoT will develop in the next 1 to 2 years?
Beray, you go.
No. I hope you are going to start. Didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like that. I really like that question.
Okay.
Because, if we watch back this recording in 2 years,
I'll make you earn some time. I'll start. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I'm starting, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's really hard to imagine something, let's say 5 years, in this current environment. Everything is going so fast thanks to the latest advancements. But I think we can have some idea when we think of the next a year or two. I think what we are going to see and face, or hopefully observe customers from customer perspective, the challenges will be changing or changed in IoT solutions. It won't be more like, for example, it used to be, I'll give example from different space to explain my idea better. It used to be understanding what is virtual machines or what is servers, but it's not anymore like that unless you are doing something from scratch. So the question is more like, is my business going to work, or is this project going to, work in terms of return of investment, or am I going to make money by building this solution? So I think it's going to be happening in IoT space in a year or two. And the reason for that is advancements in providers such as Qubitro ones and other hardware companies, and the topic of puzzle that we were talking today and every other day in our daily business life. So that is why we spend so much effort making one part of that so much simple, just like once is doing that on connectivity part. So I believe that it will be like everyone will be able to think of an idea or observe a problem, and then all they have to is going to be just finding the right company by searching the internet, and they will have an idea immediately, and they are not going to have to build everything from scratch, from hardware to the data pipeline to the connectivity. They will just register platforms, just like registering to Facebook or any other platform, and they will just follow the steps, either copy and paste some things or just figure out the configuration, and I'm sure everything will be much easier, so that we will see more and more try and fail scenarios, which is great, because the more someone tries and fail, that means the market is growing. So that happened to, for example, in no-code space, somehow in AI machine learning space, and I really believe in that in a year or two, the IoT landscape will be in that position. And of course, it's not just one company's effort, but I think we are getting there. So that is what I believe.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you make especially two important points. So one is consolidation of the market, right? We see that happening as of today. That for sure will continue taking place, I believe. And the other point that you made, which I strongly agree upon, is that users prefer simple offerings, like offerings that are easy to understand and simple to use, as you just mentioned, be it copy paste. And our belief actually is that IoT is actually easy. Yeah, they are just like many companies who claim that it's difficult because they profit off it. And probably these are the ones that I expect to vanish from the market actually. And what that means for customers and users is that it's great, because they are the ones who win in the end. And basically, I see not only our offering in that area, but also yours as well, with the straightforward data pipeline up to the vertical solutions. Basically, I think you will be also one of the players who are in that category. And again, I think that is amazing news for consumers and customers.
Yeah, I couldn't agree further.
Well, thank you for the answers. These are my questions, and if you're okay with that, I want to move to our demonstration part, and I want to invite our tech wizard Samuel on the stage.
Absolutely.
And the idea for this is not just building a real solution or a demonstration, just to visualize how one's portal is looking like, how Qubitro looks like. So I believe this is going to open, open the way for another, hopefully, live chat or conversation for a true demonstration in near future with more advanced options. So this is just a regular visualization of what we are doing in both companies. So yeah, hey champ.
Hello,
you are
Samuel.
muted. Yeah, it's default, I guess. So
there we go.
Yeah,
my bad.
Welcome.
All right. So is Tech Wizard my official title now? Can I get that on a piece of paper?
Yeah, we are free to put any title,
Oh, fantastic.
It's our freedom.
All right. So to highlight sort of what everyone's been talking about with how simple it is to onboard devices on once, and with Qubitro, just easily configuring devices. I have some really basic off-the-shelf hardware. This is just a basic SparkFun Red board, Arduino Uno alike board, along with one of their U-Blocks LTE shields. I also have attached a pressure sensor. And is my screen being shared right now? Fantastic. So on this device, I'm going to be running this really simple Arduino sketch. It's under 270 lines of code, and this is just a basic one of the SparkFun examples for the shield. I made a couple of small modifications to it so that it's able to post JSON data from this pressure sensor across to once. So we're going to go ahead and add a new source. From here, you get a link to the documentation, which shows you some important details like the URI that you're going to use and more detailed instructions on how to set it up in the Once portal. So if I go ahead into the Once OS section of the website, we are able to go into the Cloud Integrator. And then upon hitting a new integration, you are able to go into Webhook and add a name, the URL, which I just mentioned, which is in the documentation. Then we can go ahead and add the headers as the documentation outlines, so the project ID and the webhook signing ID, which you can find right here. I've already done that, so I'm just going to go ahead and go back to the Qubitro page, but we can see that Qubitro is now a webhook in Once as a cloud integrator. And I've already uploaded the code to the device, so if I just plug it right in, and keeping in mind that this is very generic hardware, I've done very little to configure the network or anything in the firmware. Let me bring up the serial console. Now this is going to take a moment, and I'm in a spot of rather poor reception, so apologies for the time that this is going to take.
Loving the Qubitro logo there. It's really great.
Oh, you're going to love what comes next.
Yeah.
I see that for the first time. I like that too.
So we just found that the LTE shield is connected. We've set our APN. We're now scanning for operators.
So is this scanning for the connectivity providers? Just asking
Right.
to understand.
Yeah.
Just to have more idea.
Right. So through Once, I'm able to connect to several different operators, whether it be AT&T, I think Verizon's an option as well, right, Fabian? Almost every single operator I've tried has worked with Once. I have this very simple operator selection function that just goes ahead and just selects the first one if it doesn't find AT&T. Oh, there we go. So now we have found AT&T. We're going to go ahead and connect to it. We're going to print out the Once logo. We now get an IP address for our private network within Once, which is pretty cool. And then we're going to be posting temperature data and pressure data along with milliseconds. And this is going to be in a JSON format. So if I go ahead and refresh this page, we can see that device was automatically added to Qubitro. I didn't need to do anything in order to add the device other than connect to Once, because that is our data provider. Then in here, we can go ahead and see the data that's being returned. So we have temperature in Celsius, we have pascals, and we have the number of milliseconds that the device has been running. You can see that as the JSON data that the device is sending to Once. And this is over a very simple UDP socket. So there's no, there's really absolutely nothing fancy going on there. We can go into our dashboards and create a chart. Select our project, which is our Once portal integration. Select our device, which I should have renamed just to make it a little nicer for this presentation. I'm going to go ahead and make this a line chart. And I don't know, let's make it blue, or sure, that color. Then there we go. We can see the device the data that this device is returning. Let's see if I can warm up the sensor so we can see a change in the chart. Yep, there we go, right there.
You can also make it bigger, I believe.
Right.
In edit mode.
Now we're able to see my body temperature being read by the sensor now that I'm holding it. And as Beray says, we are correct. We can go ahead and resize this if we'd like.
Yeah.
And that was just how easy it was to connect a device both to Once and to Qubitro. I mean, connecting to Once was extremely easy. It was the easiest cellular provider I've used so far. It was just, log into the account, make sure the SIM was registered, pop it in the device, and then the SparkFun example just worked right away, and I just modified it slightly to post the temperature and pressure data.
Super cool. Thank you. If I may add one thing to that, because some of our viewers might ask themselves, so why would they connect to Once or OneOS first? Why not connect directly to Qubitro in order to send data? And the answer for that is twofold. One thing you mentioned, it's about the automatic creation of devices, because we use our SIM card as a source of trust, basically. We use the SIM card to uniquely identify devices, and basically you don't have to create device twins on your own anymore. And the other thing is because you can also not only use the device telemetry data, but also forward connectivity data. For example, is the device connected to the network or not? Is it online or not? And also in which region, in which city district is my device currently. So this is basically additional information that you can get in order to use in your Qubitro projects.
Yeah, even Samuel says it's simple, but I think we just watch a real life scenario, because all these projects start in this way. I mean, there's nothing special. So that was really simple and easy to watch, to be honest.
You can get this project going in like 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
Fresh out of, I mean, you're getting the box from SparkFun and the box from Once.
Right. Right. Thanks for the demonstration. That was really helpful.
Thank you so much.
İlayda, do you have anything to add?
Actually, what I watched was, it looks pretty simple. It looks really pretty simple to do this, and the integration looks simple. And this is what it is in real life as well. Like, it doesn't just look like that.
And to make things more clear, unlike some other companies, we didn't prepare for 2 weeks and then show this, as a fake demonstration. In fact, we just had a chat 3 minutes ago before the live chat with Samuel. So I just wanted to make that clear, because as Fabian mentioned today, some companies were trying to make things hard, and they were trying to sell their hard solution, harder to work solutions. So that is why we weren't able to see those projects or efforts in real time. But this demonstration was, for Samuel and basically for this integration, it's even more simple than what we call simple. So this is just very, very basic thing, but it was real. So I also wanted to express that part. And I'm glad that Samuel also showed how it connected, so that it's not recording, because we are having hard time to convince sometimes users, this is possible. So I think this was a great starting point for this partnership. What do you think, Fabian?
Couldn't agree more. If this was a recording, we would have made the connecting to network part a little bit faster. Right? No, absolutely. I think, as discussed before, this showcased perfectly like why it is so powerful to have our forces combined, how users can profit of that by being very easy, straightforward, by being open to be integrated. I think this is where the power lies within. So thank you, Samuel, again for demonstrating that. That was a great demo.
Oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure.
Yeah. Would you like to add anything instead of the demonstration about the partnership?
I just want to restate basically that I'm looking ahead for the times to come. Like, we obviously have a lot in our pipeline. Most of the things we cannot talk today, but there will be something. So expect something. Stay tuned for sure.
Same for me. I'm excited for the near future.
Wow, we will be having many great news in the future in the both sides, I guess.
We are hoping, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
We are good.
Yeah, thank you for joining today's episode. I'm super happy that we made it, because there are a lot of good information. The demonstration was pretty simple, and I'm glad that everyone showed how simple it is. So for our audience, if you like to check once, you can find their website link in the description box, and also Qubitro's as well. If you have any questions, you can, I guess, they can add you on LinkedIn as well, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Beray, Fabian, and Samuel for joining today's session.
Thanks for organizing this very nice
Yes,
live
thank you.
webinar.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.